Good afternoon, I'm Rob Boskamp, and you're listening to South Texas Midday. Thank you for joining me on this Tuesday, November 4th, aka Election Day. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes, but first, yesterday, Corpus Christi City Manager Peter Zanoni and Corpus Christi Water representatives were in Sinton yesterday, presenting details of the Evangeline groundwater project during a San Patricio County Commissioners Court meeting. Zanoni said during the meeting that the project gives the ability to alternate between groundwater and surface water depending on conditions, adding that groundwater could be used predominantly during drought periods until reservoir levels recover. As of today, Lake Corpus Christi is at 12.7% capacity. Choke Canyon Reservoir is at 10.6%. The plan would draw water from the Evangeline Aquifer in San Patricio County, initially delivering up to 12 million gallons per day, with capacity to expand to 24 million gallons. Sinton Mayor Mary Spidell told KRIS 6 News the city wants to protect Sinton's water source, and they're willing to share with others if resources allow it.
Our primary goal is to protect the city of Sinton's water source, and we want to do whatever we can to make this work for everyone. The bottom line is there's not enough water to go around.
That was Spidell speaking to KRIS 6 News. A public town hall meeting on the project is scheduled for November 24th at the San Patricio County Fairgrounds. Election Day is today for Texas, and voters across the state will be deciding on 17 proposed constitutional amendments in addition to their respective local ballot measures. Now, before you head to the polls, there are a few things to keep in mind. As the Texas Newsroom's Lucio Vasquez reports, it's all about planning ahead.
If you're voting in person, check your polling place. Locations can change from year to year. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and if you're already in line when they close, you can still vote. Bring an approved photo ID, like a Texas driver's license or a U.S. passport. If you don't have one, you can fill out paperwork at the polling place and show an alternative form of ID, like a utility bill or bank statement. If you requested a mail-in ballot, it must be postmarked by 7 p.m. on Election Day and received by 5 p.m. on Wednesday. And if your name isn't on the voter list, you can still cast a provisional ballot. For more information, check in with your local election office before heading to the polls. I'm Lucio Vasquez in Houston.
For more information on voter registration, polling locations, and more, you can also visit votetexas.gov. And now that you have your information, what about transportation? That said, if you need a ride to the polls, Corpus Christi Regional Transportation Authority will offer free transportation to and from voting centers today for Election Day. In Brownsville, B Metro, in collaboration with the Office of the City Secretary, will also offer free rides on all B Metro routes today. For the CCRTA services, riders do not need to share voter registration or ID to use the service. Passengers can simply tell the bus driver their desired voting location. For more information about routes and schedules, voters can contact either the CCRTA or B Metro directly or check their apps and website information. On the ballot for millions of registered voters across the state are 17 proposed amendments on the Texas Constitution. Joining me in the KEDT studio are Spencer Chihawk and Emily Salazar to help break down the 17 proposed amendments to the Constitution. Guys, thanks for helping out.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We were looking at the early voting turnout, and it looks like that less than 10% of the 18 million registered voters in the state are going to decide the fate of these proposed amendments.
Well, hopefully we can help educate the rest of the 90% that are totally going to go out and vote today.
There's a lot to break down.
Yes, 17 amendments. Starting with Proposition 1, that would create 2 new funds to support the Texas State Technical College System, which provides job training and career-focused education across the state.
Proposition 2 would constitutionally ban taxes on capital gains made from selling stocks or other investments.
Proposition 3 would require judges and magistrates to deny bail to people accused of certain violent or sexual felonies, which is allowed but not mandated in the current state constitution.
Proposition 4 would dedicate a portion of state tax revenues to build and repair water infrastructure. Big one this year.
Proposition 5 would give the legislature the ability to exempt animal feed and retailers' inventories from personal property taxes, as well as set rules and limitations on the exemption.
Proposition 6 would ban taxes on certain segments of the finance industry.
With Proposition 7, some surviving spouses of military veterans will no longer need to pay property taxes to qualify. The widow or widower of a veteran couldn't remarry, and their spouse's death would have to be from a service-related condition or disease.
Proposition 8 would prohibit legislature from imposing death taxes applicable to a decedent's property or the transfer of an estate, inheritance, legacy, succession, or gift.
Proposition 9 would increase the property tax exemption for business properties from $2,500 to $125,000 of the market value of their property. The amendment would apply to personal property used for business purposes.
Proposition 10 would exempt homeowners whose property was destroyed by fire from property taxes.
Proposition 11 would boost the amount of the state's homestead exemption for residents over 65 or those who have a disability to $60,000, up from the current level of $10,000.
Proposition 12 would require the State Commission on Judicial Conduct to make discipline against state judges public. Discipline can only be private if the judge has never been sanctioned before and isn't being accused of a criminal offense.
Proposition 13 would boost the state's homestead exemption to $140,000, up from the current level of $100,000.
Proposition 14 would create the Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas and allocate $3 billion for research into dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's disease.
Proposition 15 would affirm the rights and responsibilities of parents. They already have the right to care for their child and make decisions concerning their upbringing. Approval makes that part of the Constitution.
Proposition 16 clarifies that a voter must be a U.S. citizen and registered in Texas to cast a ballot.
And finally, Proposition 17 would allow the state legislature to create a property tax exemption for landowners in counties that border Mexico.
And that is all 17 proposed amendments to the Constitution. So, guys, a lot for voters to look at when they're going to the polls today.
Absolutely, and they can definitely check out more on kdt.org.
That was Emily Salazar and Spencer Chihawk from the KEDT News Desk. In addition to today being Election Day in Texas, it's also the Coastal Bend Day of Giving. It's a day designated to help area nonprofit organizations get some necessary funding from local residents. The Coastal Bend Community Foundation has been at the forefront of this special day for nonprofit organizations. Lon Gonzalez has more.
For those keeping tabs on nonprofit groups that help people in a variety of ways, today is the day for the Coastal Bend Day of Giving. The day focusing on helping area nonprofits was started 17 years ago by the Coastal Bend Community Foundation and has been a success, raising $36 million for nonprofit groups.
The event benefits many of the local charities who provide direct services such as food, shelter, child care, medical care, and at-risk youth programs. So it's very important for the Coastal Bend community, for these organizations who participate, to be able to continue.
That's Tracy Ramirez, Vice President of Operations for the Coastal Bend Community Foundation, who adds that the number of groups participating has increased over the course of time.
When the program first started, there were 25, and this year there are 63 organizations. So it's almost tripled since the first year.
The day is focused on area residents pledging monetary support, with donations getting matched thanks to 25 matching funders. $1.6 million currently available in matching money, with each group receiving pledges getting up to $25,400 each.
What we do hope that the community can once again come together and help, because there is a continuation right now with hardships for many of these orgs, and for many of them this event is their one fundraiser for the year. So it really does make a difference for these charities.
So where do people donate for their favorite nonprofit?
They can go online to coastalbenddayofgiving.org. They can search for the organizations, learn more about each. They do each have a profile, and just a click of a button, they can give to one or more, kind of similar to a shopping cart where they can add more than one.
The theme, as usual, is to give what you can to help support these area nonprofit groups that assist many people in their own special way. For KEDT News, I'm Lon Gonzalez.
And in sports, the Texas A&M Corpus Christi men's and women's basketball teams opened their 2025-26 season with lopsided wins. First women's basketball made history against the College of Biblical Studies with an overwhelming final of 100-30. The 70-point win margin marks a new program record for the Islanders, surpassing the previous high of 66 set on two different occasions in 2001 and 2015. They also reached the 100-point threshold for just the fourth time in program history. A&M Corpus Christi Christi had 5 different players reach double figures. Redshirt sophomore Tori Severe returned from injury and recorded career highs with 23 points and 8 rebounds. Following close was senior Marissa Shelton reaching 20 points in her Islanders debut while also having 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals. Meanwhile, men's basketball team shook off a slow start with a dominant second-half performance to open their season with an 83-56 victory over Trinity last night at the Dugan Wellness Center. The Islanders turned a 31-31 halftime tie into a statement win, outscoring the Tigers 52-25 in the final 20 minutes. All 5 starters for the Islanders finished in double digits scoring. And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way.